Hello, everyone. This is Dale Cantrell with Meridianville Holiness Church. I want to bring you a Start Your Day Off Right series video for February the 17th. My quote is, "Stop being afraid of what could go wrong and start being positive about what could go right." My story. It's when Dennis Parker and D.W. Rutledge arrived as assistant coaches of Converse Judson High School in San Antonio, Texas, they knew there was something missing in the players they coached, some intangible quality that it took to make them champion. It was clear that the team had talent to be better than it was. Parker understood that the problems on the football field were not physical but mental. That's when these men launched a concept that was initially scoffed at by most of their peers. Rutledge and Parker ascribed to the Stanford theory that 8% of individual success is based on ability, while 92% is based on attitude. So they decided to test this hypothesis and proposed to move kids out of the weight room and into the classroom to teach them character development. It wasn't long before the critics stopped laughing, sat up, and took notice. The results were astounding. After only 1 year in the program, Converse Judson went from having a very mediocre season to a winning record of 14-1 in 1982. This team of converted athletes then proceeded to seize the 5A state championship the following year. Stories like this were duplicated time and again over the next 14 years as the careers of Parker and Rutledge moved them to coach at high schools and colleges throughout Texas. The newborn philosophy turned athletic programs around and led numerous teams to state championships. Suddenly, teams that hadn't seen a victory since 1940 were setting records. Football scores weren't the only things to improve. Test scores went up as kids developed confidence and self-esteem. What started as a program whose sole goal was to win football games evolved into a life-changing curriculum. Rutledge and Parker had discovered a gold mine and wanted to share this valuable treasure with as many coaches and kids as possible. Zig Ziglar made that possible by turning coaching to change lives in a published curriculum available to any coach who wanted a practical tool to teach players principles of character, attitude, integrity, goal setting, self-image, and responsibility. Now these life-changing principles are being taught in classrooms across Texas. One need only look at the wave of school shootings and school violence in our country to understand the importance of building character and leadership in our society. Zig Ziglar has made a positive difference in many lives with his involvement with Living to Change Lives Foundation, which has even a greater impact. Through his work with young people, he's creating a lasting legacy that will benefit generations to come. It doesn't matter where you're born, how much money you have, or what your educational level is. What matters is you recognize you can make a difference and that God has a purpose for you. My scripture is Luke 17:6, and the Lord said, "If you had faith as a grain of a mustard seed, you might say unto the sycamore tree, be thou plucked up by the root, and be thou planted into the sea, and it should obey you." My humor. A group of seminary students gathered in the chapel one day as the dean challenged them not to pray for a large church because of the stress, problems, and worries that go with it. The next year, one of the students who graduated returned to give his testimony. He said, "I did ask God for a big church. However, I also asked God for a pretty wife. My prayer was almost answered. Instead of getting a big church and a pretty wife, I got a pretty church and a big wife." So, sisters, I'm just repeating what this joke was. So this is Dale Cantrell with Meridianville Holiness Church saying I didn't come to replace your minister, just to supplement it in case you couldn't get to church. So if you have a quote, a story, a scripture, humor, a clean joke, send it to me. My number is 256-508-4410. Until we do this next time, may God richly bless you.